I don't know if you play this little game or not the way I do, but when I read or hear about stuff on the news that landed in disaster on somebody, I always kind of try to backtrack and think, why did that happen? And as much as possible, get rid of all the fear and guilt in my own heart that they deserved it or it shouldn't have happened to me. It won't happen to me because I don't do what they were doing. So if somebody's in a car accident and it turns out they were texting while they're driving, as it's called driving while intoxicated, by the way, if you need to know that, then I think, well, that'll never happen to me because I'm never texting while I'm driving. So they deserve it. Or I'll read somebody was shot, and then I have this terrible pang of fear in my heart. But then I hear that it was two extremely drunk men who staggered out of a bar at 2 a.m., got into some big fight on the city street, started shoving, trash talking each other. Somebody pulls a knife and the other guy pulls a gun and sends them off this earth. And I think, well, all right, murder's horrible, but that'll never happen to me because I don't get stone drunk out at 2 in the morning, and I don't carry a gun or a knife, and I don't go around arguing with people in the middle of the night. Or you'll hear about people who get in deadly conflict because they're arguing over a woman or arguing over they're fighting over the same person. So that's clearly not going to happen to me. Who could be more happily married than me, right? So I'm thinking I'm safe. You know, I feel more protected because this is other people's craziness that is never going to come to me. But as much as you try to play that game, or it might be natural disasters where you think, well, people who are living in a floodplain, their houses are right, let's say where the Red River's flooding in Fargo, North Dakota. Every year the Red River goes crazy because it flows north. And north is not a good direction for rivers to flow because it means that at the southern end, the headwaters, which are loading up with snowmelt, are pushing this immense volume of water, not south to the Gulf of Mexico where it should be going, where it can drain nicely and be done with it. When a river flows north, like the Red River between Minnesota and North Dakota, there's nowhere for it to go because Canada is still cold. So the river's all frozen and all this water just piles up all over the place, and Fargo, North Dakota happens to be one of those places. So every year they start stacking sandbags all over Fargo to try to keep the floodwaters out. And I feel kind of bad for them, but not so very bad. Because you want to live in a floodplain? Okay, hope you like sand. This past year, there were 2 million sandbags in Fargo, North Dakota. Okay, cool, have at it. You want to live in a floodplain in the Red River? Okay. But it doesn't tear my heart out. What really gets me apprehensive is when bad stuff happens and I can't trace it directly to someone's bad behavior, like someone's drug abuse or drunkenness or someone's grotesque physical obesity because of consuming an entire jumbo bag of Frito-Lay every day. When I can't blame the bad stuff on some individual aspect of somebody's behavior, it makes me more nervous. Random stuff creeps me out. Like when somebody is hurt in a drive-by, just sitting on a porch, and suddenly a stray bullet pops them. That really tears my heart out, because see, that could happen to me. Or when some kind of natural disaster occurs for which there is no way adequately really to prepare. Like the Earth's crust suddenly deciding to wrinkle and buckle and snap in a certain place, and there's a gigantic earthquake which occasionally runs right through the capital of an impoverished Caribbean nation. How do you stop that? Where do you go with that kind of stuff? When people are desperate for explanations of why does stuff happen, they're aware maybe God had something to do with this. And you know where the minds and brains of sinful people like you and me sometimes go is they're looking for some reason to blame the disaster. And sometimes, just like I am happy to blame drunk guys who are fighting on a street after the bars close, because I'm happy to blame them. Like, that's your mess. People take sad, destructive events and conclude it's because God is punishing them. They were bad. And I have a little Bible study to go through with you today to help you grapple with the concept of why does bad stuff happen? And if God could stop it, why does God let bad stuff happen? That has been a puzzle, a riddle, that has kept, I think, a lot of people from enjoying the Christian faith. Either they're Christians and miserable about it, or they can never bring themselves to trust in the Lord in the first place, because they come up with what they consider to be irrefutable proof that God is a phony. If He's almighty and can help people, and He doesn't, then He's mean. If He's all-loving, but nothing good happens in somebody's time of need, then He's not omnipotent. You see the trap? You can construct this riddle where you end up thinking that God is a joke or a fraud, and really, nothing could be further from the truth.